Wrestling has more than one royal family.
There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps Predictions Sports. Let go, Show Recaps Predictions Sports.
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps Predictions Sports. Let go.
What's going on, everybody? It's the EVP from the EVP Show. I'm live with your NXT recap. I do apologize. I was about 25 minutes later, so I'm just retweeting that. I'm on live. Hopefully, you guys have a good Tuesday. It is Major League Baseball Dinger Tuesday. Just posted tomorrow. NXT was really good tonight. Definitely a good show tonight. Match quality was good. Looks like we've seen the last match of Tatum Paxley on the NXT roster. Her and Paula Vice were, and I believe Kalani Jordan at some point going to be called up to Tatum Paxley going up to Raw and Paula Vice to SmackDown. Good show though. Just retweeting out live. We'll get started. This is your NXT Recap Show live here on the EVP Show channel. Tuesday, June the 9th. Dang, June is flying by. We'll be the football season before we know it. It's starting to get hot outside. I'm not sure where you guys are, but it's hot here. Heat index close to 100 degrees, so starting to warm up. So this is your NXT recap live here on the EVP Show. We're live on my YouTube channel, on my X page and DWE Television X page. Make sure you follow me on X and DWE Television page on X as well, where you can see everyone that's affiliated with DWE, which I'll go over towards the end of the NXT recap. The only announcement I have is the last Sunday. I think it's the last Sunday. It is the last Sunday in June. June the 28th will be the NXT Great American Bash recap show. I will not be doing a Sunday scoop that day, as NXT Great American Bash is on Sunday, June 28th, and WWE Night of Champions will be on Saturday, June 27th. So I will be recapping both of those shows. Night of Champions, the recap will be at some point in the day, Saturday. Not quite sure on the time yet. I'll have to get with Miami and them to see if they're still going to be doing DW radio that day. If I have to, I can do it later on that night, Saturday night. And then the NXT Great American Bash, Sunday, June 28th. The recap show will be as soon as NXT gets done. It'll be the first PLE on the CW. And there will be an NXT Great American Bash and WWE United Champions prediction show on Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. So I will be making a post tomorrow, maybe 2 weeks from tomorrow. If you haven't been on YouTube before, on my YouTube channel, look for the comment on X and comment, come on and get your voice heard. It'll be a bigger prediction show with 2 PLEs. It'll be a lot more matchups to predict. So you don't have to be on camera if you don't want to be, but if you do want to be, that's fine too. But come and join us for the 2 PLE prediction show on June 24, 2026, 7 p.m. Eastern. I think that's the time I'll do it. Either 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern. Probably 7 p.m. Eastern. May do it at 6 because I know a lot of people that come on are watching AEW on Wednesdays. So with the stream being a little bit longer, we may move it up. We'll see. It will be Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. We will be doing both of the PLE predictions on the same night. It will be a little bit longer, but it'll be a lot more fun. So let's go ahead and get started. It is the WWE NXT recap, Tuesday, June 9, 2026, from the Capitol Wrestling Center, WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. We're going to see in the main event, which I think her last match on NXT, the Women's North American Champion Tatum Paxley, defending her title against Zarya. Zarya is going for the title. She hasn't been able to win yet. Will she get it done? Plus, Naraku, otherwise known as Evil, will face Mason Rook in a WWE NXT Championship #1 contender match. The winner going on to NXT Great American Bash to face Tony D'Angelo for the men's NXT Championship. There will be two matches that's decided. There were two matches for the PLE that was ultimately decided tonight. We have two #1 contender matches. The winner of Mason Rook and Naraku will face Tony D'Angelo at NXT Great American Bash. And we also have a women's WWE NXT Championship #1 contenders match, where we will see Kendall Gray versus from Ring QCC. Kendall Gray going one-on-one with Kalani Jordan, with the winner moving on to face all of Ice for the women's NXT Championship at Great American Bash as well. So two big matches coming in store that were made official tonight for Great American Bash. And then a tag team match, we're going to see Praxium, two former tag team champions on the main roster, Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus Supernova 11, Noam Dar and Romeo Moreno. Now we're going to see in a singles match, WWE LFG Season 1 winner Jasper Troy versus Dark State Dion Lennox. And then Mr. England himself, Tristan Angel, and WWE LFG Season 2 winner Shiloh Hill will compete in a Mr. NXT pageant with SmackDown star Kit Wilson, WWE Evolved champion Aaron Rourke, and comedian Matt Matthews as the three judges for the Mr. NXT pageant. So the show opens up with a video package looking at the Great American Bash. Big Joseph and WWE Hall of Famer Booker T on commentary welcome us to NXT. And we see the rivals of Mason Rook, Haku, Kendall Gray, Ren Sinclair, Kalani Jordan, Tatum Paxley, and Zarya. So we will go to the opening match of the night. Praxium making their way down to the ring. They will be going up in a tag team contest. Praxium will be going up against Romeo Moreno and Noam Dar. Just to get to the note. So this will be a tag team match of the Sarah Praxium, Nathan Frazier, and Axiom versus Supernova 11, Noam Dar, and Romeo Moreno. So all four men are in the ring. The match starts off with Axiom and Noam Dar. Noam Dar hits Axiom with a shoulder tackle. Noam Dar then hits Axiom with a takedown. Axiom then fights back with a drop kick. Romeo Moreno then comes in, and Nathan Frazier also gets the tag. Both men then lock up. Romeo Moreno hits Nathan Frazier with the knee. Noam Dar then gets into the action, but Nathan Frazier hits him with an enziguri. Axiom then both drop kicks Romeo Moreno, sending him to the outside. Romeo Moreno that hits a missile drop kick to Nathan Frazier. Moreno then flies over the top rope, wiping out Praxium. Noam Dar that heads to the top rope and hits a moonsault off the top rope. Back in the ring, Noam Dar hits Axiom with the belly-to-belly suplex for only a count of 2. Axiom fights back with a drop kick of his own, and now Nathan Frazier is now the legal man. Nathan Frazier then snaps Noam Dar's neck before tagging in Axiom. Frazier then hits Dar with a kick and then goes for pinfall, but Noam Dar kicks out at 2. Nathan Frazier then applies a side headlock to Noam Dar. NXT Universe is trying to rally, and they are cheering for Noam Dar and Frazier. They're cheering for Noam Dar, and Nathan Frazier knocked Romeo Moreno off the apron. Axiom Moreno then come in. Moreno hits a German suplex on Axiom, follows it up with a drop kick, goes for another pinfall, and kicks out at 2. Noam Dar then applies an armbar to Axiom. Nathan Frazier then hits a splash to break up the pinfall. Axiom then hits a suicide dive to Romeo Moreno and Noam Dar. Back in the ring, Axiom hits a missile drop kick with an assist from Nathan Frazier. They go for the pinfall, but they kick out at 2. Nathan Frazier then takes Romeo Moreno out on the outside. Noam Dar then super kicks to Axiom. Noam Dar then applies an ankle lock. Romeo Moreno then joins him in a double ankle lock. Romeo Moreno then hoists Axiom up, but Axiom hits him with a super kick. Nathan Frazier then delivers a superplex. Axiom then accidentally super kicks his partner, Nathan Frazier, and Noam Dar and Romeo Moreno hit a double team move on him. Axiom then hits a double super kick on the outside. Axiom then hits the golden ratio. Nathan Frazier then follows it up with a Phoenix Splash for the 1, 2, 3. So the winners of the first opening contest is Axiom, Nathan Frazier, and Axiom with a big win on NXT. I guess they're moved down to the NXT roster now. After the match, Axiom and Frazier offer their hands to Romeo Moreno and Noam Dar. Nathan Frazier then says Noam Dar might have found a tag team partner, and Noam Dar agrees. So should Noam Dar and Romeo Moreno take Frazier's advice? Good opening match there for Axiom. Like I said, they just really must not have much for them to do on the main roster right now with the tag team situation there on the main roster. So they're back down in NXT, building some of those guys up down there, which, I have no problems with that. But Axiom get the win over Romeo Moreno and Noam Dar in the first match of the night. So we go backstage, and we see Bryn Sinclair, the women's NXT Speed Champion and best friend with over in QCC with Kendall Gray. She tells Kendall Gray she can't go out there tonight, and she won't be a distraction. Brandon says she is going to talk about a new speed tournament. Paula Bison shows up to talk to Kendall. Paula then wishes Kendall luck and says she didn't mean to hit Kendall last week. Kendall then says one time is an accident, but this happened the second time. Kendall then says she would deal with Lola after she beats Kalani Jordan tonight. So interesting there. As the women's NXT Speed, there will be a tournament starting next week for the NXT Women's Speed Championship tournament to see who will go on to face Bryn Sinclair for that Speed Championship. And in that tournament, we're going to see, I believe it's Ariana Grace and Layla Diggs in the first round. And then it's going to be Thea Hill and Izzy Dane in the first round. Those would be the 2 first round matches. And the winner of those 2 first round matches will face each other, with the winner facing Bryn Sinclair for the Women's NXT Speed Championship. So we then see Naraku and Mason Rook in the backstage area. Then we go to Sarah Stryber, who is previewing the first ever Mr. NXT pageant. Sarah Schreiber introduces Aaron Rourke, men's WWE Evolved Men's Champion, Kit Wilson, a SmackDown Superstar, and Matt Matthews as the three judges. The first category is attire for this Mr. NXT champion, Mr. NXT pageant with Charlotte Hill and Tristan Angels. And they will show off 3 pieces of attire. Matt Matthews says he appreciates Tristan's attire from the neck down, but he liked Charlotte Hill. Kit Wilson then says Charlotte is tacky. Kit Wilson then tells Tristan Angels he didn't like him, he loved him. And then it's down to the final judge, Aaron, the WWE Men's Evolved Champion, Aaron Rourke. He says he loves Charlotte's choices, but he has to go with Tristan Angels. So Tristan Angels has won the first category in the Mr. NXT pageant. So we will move on to the second category with Tristan Angels and Charlotte Hill, with Tristan Angels taking the first round. Mason Rook makes his way down to the ring for the next match of the night, as he will be going one-on-one with Naraku in a #1 contender match, with the winner going on to NXT Great American Bash, where they will face Tony D'Angelo for the men's NXT Championship. So it is the WWE NXT #1 contender championship contender match with Naraku versus Mason Rook. Both men are in the ring. This was a really good match too. Looking forward to the winner of this facing Tony D'Angelo at NXT Great American Bash. Match starts off with both men locking up. Naraku applies a side headlock. Mason Rook hits him with a shoulder tackle. Mason Rook then hits a splash on Naraku in the corner, and he follows it up with a senton for a near fall. Naraku then body slams Mason Rook, sending him to the outside. Mason Rook then drags Naraku to the outside, but Naraku sends Mason Rook into the steel steps. Back in the ring, Naraku pounds away at Mason Rook. Naraku then hits a series of chops. Mason Rook then gives Naraku a taste of his own medicine. Naraku then applies an armbar, but Mason Rook bites out of it. Mason Rook then hits a big spine buster to Naraku and goes for the pinfall, but he kicks out at 2. Mason Rook then delivers a big chop, but he misses a senton. Naraku then hits a neck breaker to Mason Rook and goes for a pinfall, but he kicks out at 2. Both men then trade strikes in the middle of the ring. Both men are now up on the top rope. And then Mason Rook brings him down and delivers a super power slam to Naraku. Oh, it was on the top rope, sorry. Mason Rook hits the super power slam to Naraku from the top rope and goes for the pinfall, but Naraku kicks out at 2. Both men then exchange strikes in the middle of the ring. Naraku then hoists Mason Rook up and drops him to the mat for a near fall, only a count of 2. NXT Universe then erupts with "This is awesome" chants for this men's NXT #1 contenders championship to the men's NXT championship. Naraku then hits a clothesline. He follows it up with a snap suplex for another near fall, but only he got 2. Mason Rook then hoists Naraku up on his shoulder, but Naraku applies a sleeper hold. Mason Rook then sends Naraku into the corner and hits him with that vicious cannonball. We then see Cam Hendricks on the apron, who faced Tony D'Angelo for the men's NXT championship last week on NXT television. Mason Rook then drops Cam Hendricks off the apron, and Naraku gets the pull-up pinfall for the 1, 2, 3. Huge win for Evil, aka Naraku, who is headed to NXT Great American Bash, where he will face Tony D'Angelo one-on-one for the men's NXT championship. The winner and new number one contender to the WWE NXT Championship is Naraku. So we go to the next segment, backstage. We see Tavion Heights, and he is with the men's NXT North American champion, Miles Bourne. They're in the lounge, backstage. Tavion Heights tells Miles Bourne he wants a rematch. Miles then says it was just a one-time thing because he has to defend the title at Great American Bash. So we will see the men's NXT North American Championship held by Miles Bourne defended at NXT Great American Bash as well. Tavion then says maybe he should face Miles for the title. Miles Bourne says he likes the sound of that. Then Jackson Drake and the rest of Vanity Project show up. Jackson shows up and he says it is nice that Miles is giving out title matches to friends like a charity case. Tavion Heights and tells Jackson Drake if he wants his, then they can meet next week. And the winner faces Miles Bourne at Great American Bash. Miles Bourne then wishes Tavion good luck. So next week on NXT television, we will see Tavion Heights going one-on-one with Jackson Drake of the Vanity Project, with the winner will qualify as the number one contender and go on to NXT Great American Bash to face Miles Bourne. So the NXT is setting up a lot of title matches for Great American Bash. It's the same weekend as the Night of Champions, so we're going to hopefully see a lot of title matches there as well. We then see Kendall Gray walk in a warehouse, and Ren Sinclair wishes her luck as Kendall Gray is getting ready for her big women's NXT, her big WWE NXT women's number one contender championship match tonight, as she will go one-on-one with Kalani Jordan. So then we see Tate Wilder. He says he lives for the rush and is all about adrenaline. Tate Wilder then says if there's a thrill on this earth, he will seek it out. Tate Wilder then says if you call him crazy, so does everyone else. Tate Wilder then says whenever he is on NXT, it is balls to the wall because you never know when the last risk will happen. So interesting promo there from Tate Wilder, who we've seen a lot of on LFG. If you guys have been tuning into the LFG recap. So we are going to move on to the next match of the night, and it is the women's NXT Women's Championship number one contender match. Best match of the night for me personally. Ren QCC Kendall Gray going one-on-one with Kalani Jordan. Both ladies are phenomenal in the ring. Kalani Jordan makes her way down to the ring for the next match of the night, followed by Kendall Gray. Both ladies are in the ring, ready to find out who is going to move on to NXT Great American Bash to face Lola Vice for the women's NXT Championship. So the match starts off with Kendall Gray. She wastes no time in taking an early advantage, attacking Kalani Jordan. Kendall Gray then hits Kalani Jordan with the drop kick. Kalani Jordan then corners Gray and hits her with a big, huge chop. She then runs into an elbow from Kendall Gray. Kalani Jordan then begins to target Kendall Gray's lower back. Kendall Gray then fights back for hook and Rana. She follows it up with a big running uppercut. Kalani Jordan then sends Kendall Gray over the top rope until a 4. Kalani Jordan then goes to the outside and hits a vicious neck breaker on the outside. Back in the ring, Kalani Jordan then continues to beat down on Kendall Gray. Kalani Jordan hits a leg drop, goes for the pin, but Kendall kicks out at a quick 2. Kendall Gray then tries to fight back, but Kalani Jordan takes her out with a flying clothesline and another neck breaker and goes for the quick pinfall, but Kalani kicks out at 2. Kalani Jordan fights back. She she ends up putting Kendall Gray into a sleeper hold. Oh, I'm sorry. Kalani puts Kendall into a sleeper hold. Kalani then follows it up with an elbow strike and then a leg drop, and then goes for another quick pinfall attempt, but Kendall kicks out at 2. Kendall Gray then tries to fight back, but Kalani Jordan sends her to the outside with a shoulder tackle. The fight then spills to the outside, and both women are down following a collision. Back in the ring, both women go back and forth with a series of right hands. Kendall Gray then hits a series of elbows, and she follows it up with an overhead belly-to-belly toss. Kendall Gray then hits a back-to-back suplex. Kendall Gray then hits back-to-back suplexes to Kalani Jordan. Kalani Jordan then tries to use ring ropes, but the referee catches her red-handed when Kalani Jordan had her feet on the ropes when she was going for a pinfall. Kendall Gray still trying to cheat. Kalani Jordan then locked Kendall Gray in with a crippler crossface. Kendall Gray fires back, gets to her feet, hits a German suplex to Kalani Jordan for only a count of 2. She then heads to the top rope and launches herself, but Kalani Jordan catches her with a vicious super kick. Kalani Jordan then follows it up with a cutter. She then goes up top and hits a frog splash. Goes for the pinfall, but Kendall Gray kicks out at 2. But then Kendall Gray cinches in an armbar on Kalani Jordan. Submission hold. Kendall is a submission specialist. Kalani Jordan then breaks the hold and she applies a dragon screw. Kendall Gray fights out of the dragon screw and applies the ankle lock, the angle lock. Kalani Jordan fights her way out of it, and then Kendall Gray hits Kalani Jordan with the shades of gray for the 1, 2, 3. So after everything that Kendall Gray has been through since Stand and Deliver, she has herself another women's NXT championship match with the champion coming up at Great American Bash. So she will go one-on-one with Lola Weiss at Great American Bash Sunday, June 28, 2026. That should be a classic. I think that's what we're going to see. Kendall Gray win her first women's NXT championship. Kendall Gray is your new number 1 contender to the NXT Women's Championship. It is now time for round 2 of the Mr. NXT pageant, with Tristan Angel taking round 1 with a special talent segment. Shallow Hill is going to solve a Rubik's Cube for the second round of the talent segment. Tristan Angel then interrupts Shallow's second talent attempt, and he tries to solve the Rubik's Cube himself, but he fails. Tristan then does some juggling, and Shallow rides past him on a unicycle, and he does some juggling himself while he's riding on the unicycle. You can vote in the corner for the Mr. NXT pageant with the QR code. Are you Team Shallow or Team Tristan? We then see Blake Howard, and he is with the WWE NXT Men's Heavyweight Champion, Tony D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo then gives us props to Naraku and Hart fought victory early on in the night against Mason Rook, as Naraku will go on to Great American Bash to face Tony D'Angelo for the Men's NXT Championship. Tony D'Angelo gives props to Naraku, but says he doesn't get Naraku. Tony D'Angelo then promises to walk in and out of the Great American Bash as the NXT champion. Naraku then shows up and he gives Tony D'Angelo an envelope. Naraku then bows to Tony D'Angelo and walks away. Tony D'Angelo then opens the envelope and the symbol is on the card in the envelope. What did Muraku just hand Tony D'Angelo? We'll find out. So we will go to the next matchup of the night, as it will be Jasper Troy going one-on-one with Dark State's Deion Lennox. Jasper Troy is now in the ring for the next match of the night. And Deion Lennox makes his way out to the ring, minus Cutler James, who is missing tonight from Dark State, but he does have Osiris Pippen with him in this one-on-one contest. Jasper Troy is the former LFGC the former and speed champion as well. So both men are in the ring. Jasper Troy going on with Dark State Deion Lennox. The match starts off with Jasper Troy sending Deion Lennox to the outside. Back in the ring, Jasper Troy hits a shoulder tackle to Deion Lennox, and he follows it up with a big body slam for a count of 2. Goes for the pinfall and gets a count of 2. Deion Lennox then fights back with a back elbow. Jasper Troy then goes for a choke slam, but Deion Lennox chops him down. We then see on the video screen, or the screen behind, we see Saquon Sugar. He appears to the big screen, and he tells Deion Lennox to watch his back. Saquon Sugar seems to be going after the Saquon Sugar is going after Dark State. Deion Lennox and Osiris Pippen. Nowhere to be found is Jasper Troy. Colored James, sorry. The fight then spilled to the outside, and Jasper Troy continues to beat down on Deion Lennox. Jasper Troy has the size advantage over Deion Lennox. Back in the ring, Jasper Troy gets Deion back in the ring. Jasper Troy takes Deion Lennox out with a clothesline, and he follows it up with a power slam and goes for the pinfall, but Deion kicks out at 2. Deion Lennox tries to fight back with a series of right hands. Jasper Troy stops him in his tracks with a big headbutt, and he follows it up with a shot in the midsection. Jasper Troy then drives his shoulder into the midsection of Deion Lennox. Deion Lennox then hits a big kick on Jasper Troy to regain control of the match. Then Deion Lennox hits a vicious power slam to the big man Jasper Troy. Jasper Troy then hits Deion Lennox with the world's strongest slam, aka Mark Henry. Shout out to Mark Henry there. Jasper Troy then misses a big splash from the top rope. He goes all the way up to the top rope. The big man flies and misses a splash. Osiris Pippen then causes a distraction, allowing Deion Lennox to pick up the 1-2-3 victory as Deion Lennox minus Color James from Dark State tonight. But he had Osiris Pippen. He played a big factor in the contest tonight, with Deion Lennox picking up the big victory against WWE LFG Season 1 winner Jasper Troy. After the match, Saquon Sugar is back on the big screen again. Saquon Sugar says he didn't know that Deion Lennox had it in him. Saquon Sugar then says it is a shame that Cutler James isn't here. Message and buffers, and Saquon Sugar then hits Osiris Pippen from behind with a baseball bat before Deion Lennox figures out what is happening. And Saquon Sugar hurries up and retreats to the crowd. Saquon Sugar has struck again to Dark State. The only person he hasn't gotten his hands on yet is Deion Lennox. So we then see footage of Jada Parker, and she, as what we saw earlier, or you guys saw earlier on X from the Low Key Legend Natty's X account. Jada Parker showed up to the dungeon and attacked Natty at her own dungeon. And we will see the Low Key Legend herself, future WWE Hall of Famer Natty, is going one-on-one with Jada Parker next Tuesday on NXT television. So we're having a number 1 contenders match with 4 Miles Born NXT Men's North American Championship next Tuesday on NXT with Tavion Heights will be facing Jackson Drake from the Vanity Project. Natty will be facing Jada Parker. And then we have first round action in the women's NXT Speed Tournament to see who will go on to face Vince Sinclair. We have Ariana Grace facing Layla Diggs in the first round. And then Izzy Dane will one-on-one with Thea Hill. So we then see Sarah Shriver as she is in the ring with Charlotte Hill and Tristan Angel for the final category as Charlotte Hill won category number 2
If you got a question,
of the first ever Mr. NXT pageant. And they have this QR code up for people to be voting. This is going to be the final part, which is the public speaking part. Sarah Shriver asked them to explain why they think they should be Mr. NXT. The judges are sitting out there all together. Tristan Angel says it's a pressure and a responsibility suitable for only one man. Tristan Angel then calls himself the most handsome man in England. Tristan Angel then says he has represented England in international pageantry. Tristan says he has tattooed Mr. NXT on the back of his leg to celebrate his birthday tonight. Charlotte Hill says he has never really done anything like this before. You can kind of tell. Charlotte then says he thought the toughest thing was where would he find a monocle. Charlotte then says he feels like a different person every single week. Charlotte then says it's hard to figure out who he is. Charlotte then says he is trying to figure out who he is, and that is what NXT is all about. Charlotte then says as long as you're willing to roll with the punches, adapt, and hit back harder, Charlotte then says that is why he should be Mr. NXT. Some compelling speeches there from Tristan Angel and Charlotte Hill. So then Matt, the first judge, comes up and he says he is impressed with how Charlotte Hill has remained himself throughout this whole pageantry. Matt then says his hair earlier was doing nothing. Tristan is still doing nothing for him. Kit Wilson then says he has to applaud his vulnerability, and then Kit Wilson calls Charlotte Hill toxic. He then tells Tristan he is toxic too, but there is something about him, whether it is the long blonde hair or the accent, but it does something for him. Kit Wilson then says Tristan is his pick, so we are tied at 1. Aaron Rourke, the men's Evolved champion, then says he loves that Charlotte Hill is authentic. Aaron Rourke then says Tristan looks the part. Aaron then says he will leave this final decision up to the fans. So then they go to the poll from the fans, and the fans have voted for your new Mr. NXT, none other than Charlotte Hill. Tristan Angel's an attack Charlotte while the sash is being put on Charlotte Hill. He then goes to the court, hits Charlotte Hill with a chair. Tristan Angel hits a knee drop into the chair. Tristan Angel was not the best loser here tonight on NXT television, as Charlotte Hill won Mr. NXT. Interesting stuff there. Not for me, but interesting stuff. We then see Naraki, and he says he has protected Tony D'Angelo and the title, and now it is time that they go to war at Great American Bash. Robert Stone, he asked Naraki what was in the box. Naraki says it is an invitation. And then out of nowhere, Keanu Carver then shows up, and Robert Stone tells him to not let that happen. Keanu Carver then asks why people are getting a title shot before him. Cam Hendricks last week, and now Raku and Mason Rook as well. Robert Stone then tells Keanu Carver to wait until next week to figure out who his next opponent is. Keanu Carver then says if Robert Stone doesn't make the decision, he will figure out who his next opponent is himself. Robert Stone has his hands full with Keanu Carver. So then the women's speed tournament bracket is unveiled as Izzy Dane will face Dia Hill in the first round. And we will see in the top half of the bracket, we will see part of the birthright, and we see her all the time on the former women's TNA Knockouts champion Ariana Grace will face Layla Diggs in the first round. We then see Izzy Dane, and she is freaking out to the Coven over being added to the women's speed tournament. She wants to know how that happened. Sean Spears comes in and says he got herself in. He knows she is still bummed about losing her match to Levice, and she wants to be she wants to still be in the women's NXT championship picture. But Kendall Gray just qualified for that match at NXT Great American Bash. So he said he went and got her into the speed tournament. Sean Spears then says he wants to give Izzy Dane another title shot now that Kendall Gray is next in line for the NXT Women's Championship. Izzy Dane will face Dia Hill in a first round match next week on NXT. Nico Vance admits it's not a bad idea, but he promises he will be there for Izzy Dane. Izzy Dane then says she appreciates Sean Spears for getting her that opportunity in that speed title championship tournament. So then we are going to go to the main event of the evening, and what I believe is the last match for the women's NXT North American performer. After tonight is the former NXT women's North American champion, as she won that title back, I believe it was March the 7th, 2026, at NXT Business Day, where she beat Izzy Dane for that title. So it is for the women's NXT North American Championship, as Tatum Paxley is defending against Zarya, with the women's NXT North American Championship has been a championship that has eluded Zarya for a long time. Zarya then makes her way down to the ring for the main event of the evening, and Tatum Paxley follows soon after. So this is for the NXT Women's North American Championship, Tatum Paxley versus Zarya. So the match starts off with Zarya, and she immediately goes for F5. Tatum Paxley counters with an inside Pareto. Zarya then hits Paxley with a spear really early on into the contest. Zarya nails Tatum Paxley with a spear and goes for the early win and for the championship, but Tatum Paxley kicked out of 2. Fight then spills to the outside. Zarya then hits a clothesline. Zarya then sends Tatum Paxley into the barricade and into the ring post. Then she gets Tatum Paxley back in the ring. Zarya goes for cover, but Tatum Paxley kicks out again at 2. Zarya then tosses Tatum Paxley across the ring. Tatum Paxley then tries to fight back, but Zarya hits her with a German suplex. Zarya then drives her shoulder first into the post. Zarya is completely in control tonight for the women's NXT North American Championship. So she goes and drives Tatum Paxley's shoulder first into the post. Tatum Paxley then stomps on Zarya. She follows it up with a moonsault off the top rope. Back into the ring. Zarya continues to her vicious beat down to Tatum Paxley. Zarya then hits a big, huge running knee and goes for a pinfall, but Tatum kicks out at 2. Tatum Paxley then fires back with a flurry of offense, but Zarya overpowers Tatum Paxley again. She then runs into a big boot, and then Tatum Paxley with her first bit of offense in the match tonight hits Zarya with a DDT and then follows it up with an enziguri. She then follows that up with an overhead kick on the back of Zarya's neck. It goes for the quick pinfall, but Zarya kicks out at 2. Zarya then hits another German suplex to Tatum Paxley. She follows it up with a headbutt. Tatum Paxley then counters. Zarya goes for the spear again, but Tatum Paxley counters Zarya's spear with a double stomp to the spine. She then, Tatum Paxley then heads to the top rope, goes for a 450 splash. Zarya catches Tatum Paxley with another and the third vicious spear, and she goes for the pinfall. 1, 2, 3, and your winner and your new NXT Women's North American Champion for the first time in her career is Zarya. Congratulations to Zarya for winning the Women's NXT North American Championship tonight. Not yet though. That was only a count of 2. I thought I had you there. Both women then trade strikes in the middle of the ring. Tatum Paxley then hits Zarya with a super kick. She then heads to the top rope, but Zarya cuts her off. Both women are now on the top rope. Tatum Paxley then hits a coast to coast on Zarya and goes for the pinfall, but Zarya kicks out at 2. Tatum Paxley then goes for her finisher, the cemetery drive, but Zarya counters. Zarya then goes for an F5, but Tatum Paxley intercepts and hits her with a kick, and then the fight spills to the outside. Zarya hits Tatum Paxley with an F5 on the floor, aka Brock Lesnar, and then she gets Tatum Paxley back in the ring. And Zarya hits Tatum Paxley with the 4th spear of the night. Zarya then hoists Tatum Paxley up and hits her with a vicious F5, the second or third of the night, for the 1, 2, 3. And Zarya, this time, I'm not joking with you guys, this time Zarya is your new Women's NXT North American Champion with 3 F5s and 4 spears. Zarya has finally done what she's been trying to do for over a year plus on the NXT roster. She has finally captured the NXT Women's North American Championship. After the match, Zarya celebrates her victory and stands tall. And after the show goes off the air, see a dejected Tatum Paxley out by the ring area. Then she starts to say her goodbye to the NXT universe. What an incredible NXT run for Tatum Paxley. 90 plus days as the Women's NXT North American Champion. Such a great victory. I believe she had two separate reigns with the NXT Women's North American Championship. So look forward to what's next for Tatum Paxley. I definitely could think that Tatum Paxley will be headed to the main roster. She has a very special connection with Laura Valkyria back from NXT. So I could see her going to that main roster on Raw and being linked up with Laura Valkyria next week once again. So the 2 matches that we have official for Sunday, June 28th, NXT Great American Bash will be followed by defending the Women's NXT Championship against one half of Ren QCC, Kendall Gray, and Tony D'Angelo will defend the Men's NXT Championship against Raku Evil. Next week on NXT television, we will see low-key legend herself, future WWE Hall of Famer Natty, goes one-on-one with Jada Parker. We will see Tavion Heights versus Jackson Drake of the Vanity Project one-on-one, with the winner going on to NXT Great American Bash to face Miles Bourne for the Men's NXT North American Championship. And also next week, we will start the WWE Women's Speed Championship #1 contender tournament to see who will face Rand Sinclair for the Women's NXT Speed Championship. I'm assuming that match could happen at Great American Bash as well. In the first round matchups, we're going to see the former TNA Women's Knockouts champion Ariana Grace, Birthright, going one-on-one with other Diggs. And then we're going to see the former women's NXT North American champion, almost won the NXT Women's Championship last week against Ola Weiss. Izzy Dane will go one-on-one with Dia Hell, the two winners moving on. The winner going on to face the Ren Sinclair for the women's NXT Speed Championship. So this has been your NXT recap live here on the EVP show, Tuesday, June the 9th, 2026. If you guys are able to, if you guys are watching live on YouTube, please hit that like button on the stream, whether you guys watching it right now. I know there's a space going on with Raw and NXT, but if you guys are able to go back and watch this live later on tonight or tomorrow, please hit that like button on the stream. That helps my YouTube channel and the algorithm of all my streams. Also, if you're watching live on my X or DWE Television's X, thank you for that. Make sure you go and follow DWE Television on the X page, and you can see everyone affiliated with DWE. And I'll start off with Miami the Great and Final Boss Baby. Make sure you follow them on X, and you go to YouTube and find Talk It Up Podcast, Talk It Up Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Go to YouTube and find them and hit the subscribe button. Join them. You can join Miami every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. for Inside the Mind with Miami. As me and him will be back late September, early October for the NFL recap, which I will be bringing back doubleheader Tuesdays, and we will be doing NFL recap starting at the end of September, beginning of October. I will be transferring from doubleheader Sundays once LFG's over to doubleheader Tuesdays. We'll be back to doing the NFL recap, and then I'll be back after that on Tuesday nights to do the NXT recap for you guys. So make sure you follow the Talk It Up Podcast on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Every Monday night, an hour before Monday Night Raw. Be looking out on the DWE television page as well for the World of Greg and Colin Anthony for the rundown every Monday, an hour before Raw comes on. You can join them as they are covering the WWE Raw card. Everything that's going to transpire and take place on Raw an hour before it comes on to Netflix. So make sure you be on the lookout for that on the DWE television page on X. And you can follow the World of Greg and Kyle the Man Anthony on X as well. Also, Director Reg, After a Slam Podcast on X, and hit the like and subscribe to his page on YouTube, as well as the Smoke Session Podcast and the Sports Jedi Network. With that being said, guys, like I said at the beginning of the stream, make sure you guys are on the lookout tomorrow, as I will go ahead and make a post looking for 9 others to join me for the prediction show on June 24th at either 7 p.m. Eastern or 6 p.m. Eastern, probably 7 p.m. Eastern. Join me. Be on the lookout for that post if you haven't been on YouTube before, haven't been on my show for a prediction show panel. It will be the prediction show for Night of Champions and NXT Great American Bash. We're doing 2 PLEs at once, so that I don't have to do 2 separate prediction shows, because I won't have time that week to do 2 shows. So we're going to combine them into 1 show. Be on the lookout for that post tomorrow, and just comment or send me a DM, and I will put you on the list. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the NXT recap. I will be back shortly to tell you guys where you can find me on my social, what I have coming up for you guys the rest of this week.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go, Show Recap Prediction Sports
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go.
Thank you once again for tuning in to the NXT recap Tuesday, June 9th, 2026, live here on the EVP show, my YouTube, my X page, and DWE television. X page. As far as where you can find me on my socials, it is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. All my links are in my bio. If you are looking for me on X, which that is where the post will be tomorrow in regards to the NXT Great American Bash and WWE United Champions PLE prediction show on Wednesday, June 4th. You can find me on X at EBP2JP. Hit that follow button. I'll follow you back as much as I can. X only allows so many follows per day, but hit that follow button. And once you follow me, you can go all the way to the top of my X page, and you can find my YouTube page as pinned at the top of my X page. If you get a chance, please hit the retweet button from my YouTube page, or you can copy the link and share it with your friends and family. I don't know if you guys enjoy my daily wrestling content. You got to share it with your friends and family. They will enjoy it too. There's almost 1,000 live videos, plenty of YouTube shorts, and a couple of pre-recorded videos as well. If you're looking for me on Instagram, you can find all the upcoming videos that are promoting my upcoming streams for the week made by Wwe the Great and the World Great. You can find me on Instagram at EVPCJP. If you're looking for me on TikTok, you can find me there. And all I do is post a promotional videos for upcoming videos as I do on Instagram. On Instagram, you can find my YouTube page in my bio. And on TikTok, you can find my YouTube page in my bio as well. If you're looking for me on TikTok, you can find me at Brady the Goat 21. That's at BRADYDA Goat 21. Last but not least, and most importantly, please hit the like and subscribe button to my YouTube channel. As I mentioned earlier, you can find all three of my YouTube page on all three of my social media platforms: X, Facebook, if you're friendly on Facebook, or actually X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. If you can't for some reason find it on any of the social media platforms, you can go up to the top right hand corner, type in at the EVP show. Hit that subscribe button. If you already are subscribed to my YouTube channel, please turn on the notification bell, and it will remind you when I'm going live next. Thank you guys, like I said, for tuning in tonight. And please share my YouTube channel with your friends. Help me try to get as close as I can to 300 subscribers by SummerSlam coming up at the beginning of August. What I have coming up to you guys the rest of the week. Tomorrow, like I said, be on the lookout for the NXT Great American Bash and the WWE United Champions prediction show post. I will be posting on X tomorrow, sometime around March time. But I am off tomorrow. There is no stream, so you guys enjoy your Wednesday. But I will be back Thursday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the TNA recap show. And then Friday night, we are back in the States, so SmackDown won't be spoiled all over X. But you can tune in Friday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the SmackDown recap show, as we're a little over 2 weeks away from WWE Night of Champions. What will happen on the road Saturday? I'm off again, but make sure you guys tune in to DW Radio. We will be live at some point, I believe 3 or 4 p.m. on Saturday. But we'll be live on the DWE television page, on Talk It Up Wrestling Podcast on YouTube, on Twitch at DWE TV on Twitch, or DWE Television on Twitch, and it will be available also on Spotify. So make sure you tune in to DW Radio live with Wwe the Great and Final Boss Baby Saturday. I will not be doing any streams Saturday, but I will conclude the week with the eighth week of doubleheader Sunday live here on the EVP show. Catch me first Sunday evening, Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern for Sunday Night Scoop with the EVP. And then I'll be back later on Sunday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time with the LFG Season 3 Episode 8 recap show. So that is my schedule for the rest of the week, guys. I definitely appreciate you guys for tuning in. You guys want to put some comments on the stream? any live stream that I put out there, you guys can put your comments on what you thought of the program. What your favorite spots were, not so favorite. Any complaints about the show, please just leave those in the comments. It's been a little low with the comments lately on the stream, but it'll pick up eventually. But I hope you guys enjoy your Wednesday as we're halfway through the work week. And be on the lookout, like I said, once again, for the post tomorrow on X, where I will be posting for the 2 PLEs coming up, WWE United Champions and NXT Great American Bash. I will be the prediction show for that Wednesday, June 24th at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you are interested in joining, please find that post on X and comment or send me a DM on X. With that being said, guys, you guys enjoy your Wednesday. And if you guys are able to go back and watch the stream, please hit that like button on my stream as well. And share the YouTube page. Try to help me get to 300 so by SummerSlam. That being said, guys, no more. I'm not streaming tomorrow, so I'm going to enjoy my Wednesday off. You guys do the same. And I will be back here Thursday night, 11:30 p.m. Eastern for the TNA Recap Show. I am the EVP from the EVP Show, the Golden Boy of DWE. DWE is the only place to be. Good night, everyone. I'll see you guys Thursday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for the TNA Recap Show. Good night. See you guys Thursday night.